I was involved in litigation with the cult from 1982 through 1986. And in December of 1986, there was a settlement. And the conditions of the settlement included $50,000 per utterance about my experiences or knowledge of Scientology. I protested to my attorney because it's impossible for me to live by that. I then had 17 years, day in, day out, experiences with Scientology. And I had knowledge, what my whole life had been about up to then, 17 friggin' years. The idea that I could not mention Scientology to virtually anyone. If I went out, had a date, I couldn't tell my date about what I'd been doing the last 17 years. And of course I came forward with all of the psychic damage from being one inside and then being fair game for 5 years after being inside. It's impossible for me to go one day without talking about Scientology, about my experiences, about my knowledge. And the last 20, what are we into now? 22 years since this contract, I signed their contract, and I signed it in large part because my attorney, Michael Flynn, who like me was a target of Scientology, told me that it's not worth the paper it's printed on. You cannot sign away these rights. And time has also proven him right. You can no more not talk about Scientology, a friggin' religion, than someone can be prohibited from talking about Christianity or mentioning God or mentioning Jesus Christ. Scientology claims to be a religion. I'm not protesting that. But you cannot, if you're a religion, prohibit someone from talking about you. The cult, however, has been wildly successful in getting courts in California to go along with them and to, one, prohibit me with an injunction from talking about my experiences, and two, to dun me $50,000 per utterance. And an utterance can be as small as saying L. Ron Hubbard, that's 50 grand. If I say Moxon, that's 50 grand. If I say Miscavige, that's 50 grand.
Hold on there, you're up to 150,000 already.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I have to pause apparently a second in between. So it's like Miscavige. End of that conversation, 50 grand. Okay, now we're on to Moxon. Another 50 grand. It's psycho. It's absolutely friggin' nuts. But at the same time, and it has been very, very damaging to me, very threatening to me. But at the same time, having weathered it, it is an incredibly valuable case. And I truly hope that Anonymous gets behind it, because it is fabulous for them as well. It's a great campaign. All they have to do is continue to do what they're doing and say that they're acting in concert with me. I don't ask them to do anything, but acting in concert with me makes them likewise. They can be put in jail. There are jail sentences waiting me in California just for talking about Scientology. And the same could be true for them. Now, Scientology is not going to have someone who acts in concert with me jailed, and they're not going to go after them for $50,000, because Scientology is being taught a very painful lesson, and that is that these things are unenforceable. And not only unenforceable, but are criminal. It's illegal what they're doing, and my plan is to have this thing run its course, and my first action will be to have it declared illegal, have it declared criminal. I'm coming after that cult. I'm coming after Moxon. I'm coming after Miscavige. Because those guys have to repair the damage that they've done to me and people who would act in concert with me. Now, they have threatened people with real live friggin' attorney letters. They threatened Stephen Kent, a professor in the University of Alberta. They've threatened old guard people, Arnie Lerma, Jeff Jacobson, Larry Wallersheim, Vaughn Young, Stacey Young. They threatened these people with enforcement of the Armstrong contract against them. So there's a record that Scientology will use it, but they can't use it because it's illegal, and everybody is beginning to understand that it's illegal. They're put in an incredibly difficult position, and sooner or later it's going to be reversed, and the $50,000 will start to flow in the other direction.
So we'll provide some links for people to find out about this acting in concert with Gerry Armstrong.
You bet.
Good
Yeah,
job.
I would love for there to be a picket sometime and challenge it. Challenge that. Just, that's true civil disobedience. A California injunction cannot possibly be valid in this country. An injunction which prohibits someone from talking about a religion.